time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scentlock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and Packermax Cultipackers. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal podcast, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin on a Sunday afternoon. We've had a little bit of rain. It's humid here in Michigan. The weather, other than that, though, is pretty doggone good.
Hit and miss thunderstorms.
Yeah, one hit me. Did it miss you or did it get you?
It got us.
It got you? Okay. Before we get started, though, we do want to give a quick shout out to Hunter's Blend Coffee, our official coffee supporter here at the Up North Journal.
Absolutely. Hot or cold.
That's right. And if you remember, if you go to huntersblendcoffee.com and use the promo code, the UNJ promo code, which you can see right here below me, type that in and save you 10% on your order. So get over there and get you some. So what do you think, Dan? Without further ado, you just want to jump into it tonight?
Well, you cannot keep down a Whorley Bird.
No, we can't. We cannot keep a Whorley Bird down. And
so we got to get Whorley Bird on and up so we can hear him.
What is going on, Whorley Bird?
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. How you fellas doing?
We're doing fine here in Michigan. Like I said, it's a little humid, but we complain a little too much because you're down south. And if I remember right, you're kind of in that just above the North Carolina state line over there by Martinsville, kind of?
Yeah, that's correct. We're about 30 minutes from Martinsville.
Okay, and a little south of Roanoke.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
See, I know my geography.
Well, hey, I'm proud of you.
Obviously, and so does Tim Cius, because he's throwing it out at the gauntlet right there and saying West Virginia is the best Virginia.
It's already started.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Whorley Bird.
You came from Virginia, so West Virginia boys, we've forgotten more than the West Virginia people ever know.
Oh,
wow, man!
Go Hokies! Go Hokies!
There you go. It has started.
I love West Virginia people.
Man, we're not 5 minutes in the show and the gauntlet's been dropped. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta love it. We're just the refs. We got our black shirts on. We're refs.
That's right.
We look like refs.
Hey, Whorley Bird, what'll happen now? Friday night, go over to Tim Cius' show on the limb, and you can go over there and you give him grief. How about that?
That's okay. Peace, love to everybody.
That's right. We're all hunters, right?
That's right. So many people have forgotten that. We're all fighting for the same cause.
That's right. Amen to that.
And by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're gonna have to owe something because Tiffany, that would be her comment was, "That's my hubby. Go Whorley Bird." Mackenzie and I are watching. Boy, you're gonna have to pay up for that one. There's no doubt about that.
My wife always says she doesn't play the Powerball because she's already won the jackpot when she married me.
There you go.
There you go.
It's getting deep in here already, man. This is going to be a good show. I can tell.
This is going to be good.
Yes, sir.
We got you on because we're joining up with you and Bucks Baits as proud supporter of Up North Journal, and we're having you on to kind of go over Bucks Baits and all about it. But how did you get involved with Bucks Baits?
Well, Buck Baits, 3 years ago, the company got started, so I was looking for a great product that would help me excel in my hunting, and I reached out to these guys. I asked them, what their beliefs were and everything they believed in, and their mission lined up with my mission. So we joined forces, and it's been nothing but success ever since we got together. I love the company. I love the fellow Prostaffers. We all work as a team, and it's just we're headed in the right direction, and I love every minute of it.
That is awesome. There's nothing like, and especially when you're working as a team, and we're not just working as a team because we're joining the team here, but he's also, remember, he's down in Virginia working with a Michigan company.
That's
so
right.
It's not like you're right in the backyard. You're actually a few states away, and you're loving their product.
Yeah, we what's so cool about us? We have pro staff in Texas, Washington, Michigan, and Virginia, like me. So we cover the whole United States of America. So that way we can better for everybody, not just certain people.
So the products that they're making for us hunters, I mean, a lot of times you'll see things that maybe are kind of regionally centralized. You know, they work really good in one area, but what they're doing is across the board. I mean, anybody across the United States, or maybe even up in Canada, wherever they may be hunting at, they can take some of these attractants and scents and lures, and they can use them where they're at and be successful as well, right?
Yes, sir. We try everything in all of our states before we turn it loose to the public.
You gotta like that.
You gotta like that. And it's good to get feedback on a product instead of just saying, "Hey, we came up with something in one state," and just blasting it out all over where it might not work in 49 other states.
Yeah. Well, as we know here in Michigan, especially like where Danny hunts and where I hunt, two different types of habitat and soil conditions. And when it comes to planting food plots or doing habitat work, there's so many different things we have to worry about. But with their products here, what we're dealing with these attractants and lures and things, they work. They work from deer, bear, elk, what have you. Why don't we talk a little bit about the product and explain really what we're working with here?
Well, as you can see from our portfolio on our webpage, we offer a full line of scents. We don't just do deer. We do many animals. We do urine, cervid-based scents. We do synthetic scents. We do cover scents. We do different animals. So we have a scent or a urine based for not just one type of hunter, but several. We also do cover scents, and we do odor elimination. So, we've got all aspects of it covered. That's what's so cool about us.
So it's not just one aspect of the game. You really hit it across the whole board there.
Right. Our company is a lot like me. We're well-rounded.
I like that. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, what are you digging for over there, Dan?
I'm looking for something.
Going through the products, we talk. A lot of people talk about deer, but you're not just a deer company. I mean, we talked a little bit before we started the show. This year I drew an elk tag. Lo and behold, Dan, have you got that over there? I will. In the box here, we've got a bottle of elk urine. Okay, and this is cow estrus, and as you explained to us, that the orange label is the real deal.
That's correct. So serve it urine. That's correct.
So this is what we're gonna be taking this bottle with us and using this year. But you also deal, like I said, with bear and the deer, and what else? Am I missing something else?
Deer, bear, elk. What else you got?
We have bobcat, deer, elk, wild boar, coyote, wild boar, and fox and raccoon.
And you also have the ATA approval label.
That is correct. We do. And I know if they're in Michigan, correct me if I'm wrong, your DNR has made it to where you can only use cervid-based urines that have the ATA check mark. Am I correct in saying that?
You are, sir. Absolutely 100% correct.
Then you're, using our product, there's no doubt in your mind that it's, you're able to use it because it's 100% legal.
Talking about that here in Michigan, I mean, we know why it's important, but maybe a state where you could use either or. Why is it important to look for that ATA seal?
Because, the ATA is, they have certain standards that to monitor and make sure that everything, they go above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to urine. So the urine has to be at a higher level before they'll even put their check mark on it. So, of course, our company, we have been with ATA a long time, and we have an outstanding award with the ATA, and we have all the check mark on all of our products. So, it goes to show you that they've done the research, they've done the homework, and if they didn't think that we were A-OK 100%, they wouldn't give us a check mark.
Yeah, so you've got to meet their standards before you get that seal of approval to be used.
That is correct.
Like in states in Michigan, where that's the only thing we're allowed to use,
as far
as pure deer or cervid urine.
Right. At least you can use some real urine, because here in Virginia, with our CWD up there in Northern Virginia, 100% banned all natural urine, no matter what.
Oh, no kidding. So you're not able to use even the ATA approved seal of approval urine.
Nothing. If it contains one drop of urine in it at all, it's 100% illegal.
Okay. So we're talking about urine. What makes Buck's baits better than somebody else? Do you put something more in the product? What
sets you guys apart?
What sets you apart and ahead of the rest?
Well, let's talk about our Estrus Max. Okay, so we have a product called Estrus Max. The cool thing about it, it's independently lab certified to be sure that it's at peak estrus. Okay, peak estrus is measured at 30 picograms per milliliter. All right, other products, you don't know how much estrogen is going to be in your deer urine. So when you buy ours, it's already been measured for you. the level of estrus in the estrus max is the highest level that a doe can physically produce. So when a mature doe urinates, she has more estrus than, let's say, a 1.5-year-old or 2-year-old. So, our through my studies and through all of our research we've got back, that mature does bring in the mature bucks. So when you buy our product, it's already been lab certified, so you know that you're getting the peak estrus level that you can physically get from a doe in a bottle of urine.
All right, Dan.
That's what's so cool about it.
Dan's going to open the bottle here and take a whiff.
Well, hold on. Make sure you got the door shut, because if you open up that bottle, it's going to be deer everywhere in your office there.
I love that smell. Not gonna lie. Here, take a whiff of that.
No, I'm good. I believe you.
I wish we had 4D, so then everybody could smell it.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
It's pretty potent. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you were holding that up. There's actual. This is not clear. Am I right?
Yeah, the bottle's not clear. We designed it that way because if you have a clear bottle, you're going to let a lot of sunlight come into the bottle. So with an amber-colored bottle like ours, you're not going to let any light transmission in, which won't ruin your urine. Well, because if you got a clear bottle, it'll turn it to ammonia. Ours won't turn into ammonia.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, but I'm even talking
the
about
liquid. The liquid itself, like, if you compare it to some of the others,
it looks cloudy. There's a cloudier look to it. And is that just because it's natural versus synthetic?
Because it's real pee. You never seen a deer pee with clear urine.
Yeah. Okay.
This
gotcha.
is synthetic over here, and this is the max.
Gotcha.
You can see definitely the difference.
You like so you got a bottle of it out right now?
Yeah.
I was putting it under a little bit between my ears, behind my ears.
He's putting it on like perfume.
Put it, man. That way, put it on your tongue, so when you're breathing, you can put it out. No, but anyways, what's cool about it? Look at the tip. So you're talking about putting it on yourself. We got a spray tip on it. So
yeah, you got a nice, convenient little spray tip. And I noticed one thing.
Yes, sir.
When I undid the top of the bottle, and this is kind of just what I've noticed is the amount of the tube with inside. Mm-hmm. So you'll get to the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, the length of the tube.
The length of the tube inside. It's like
atomizer.
You're over to the side, but just a quick little, as I was looking at these and smelling them.
Yeah.
Take you a good whiff. That's all I can say.
So obviously Buck Baits is getting these tested, putting the amount, way over the amount, into these, individually tested for all these bottles. Are we getting into prime time, getting orders in and for the deer urine to be the freshest, latest, greatest batch? Are we starting that now?
Well, let me tell you what's cool. Another thing, a lot of people freeze urine. A lot of other companies, they bottle, and then they freeze. And then when you buy a bottle, they defrost it and send it to you. Ours, we do not bottle it until you order it. So when you get it through the mail, or you will know that the urine is fresh because it's just been bottled days before you received it.
Okay. I got a question here from Tom Genzel. He said he wanted to know if we can use this in Michigan. Absolutely, yes. We were just talking about that. It is ATA approved. Jennifer Drake says she's used the cow estrus and it really works well. She's had many successful hunters with the elk estrus and dominant bull. So I know she guides here in Michigan for elk. So
she does, and she's had a lot of success over the last couple of years with elk hunters in Michigan.
That is awesome. So,
and coming from Buck Baits themselves, there's a comment on as we go in the live stream. Our sprayers are saving money. They push further in the air. So as you push it, it goes further in the air.
So it's atomizing that. It's not just a stream coming out. It's actually atomizing it and misting it.
Right.
Now, if people want to place an order for this, they want to check out what you've got in the lineup, where do they go to find Buck Baits? You go to
buckbaits.com, and also, if you're watching the show, if you type in Up North Journal, and when you check out for promo code, we're going to give you 20% off just for watching the show here. And, you guys joining us, so we got to help you guys and help the listeners out. You go to buckbaits.com and check out our full line right there. You can visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. But the main website you need to go to is buckbaits.com.
There you go, folks. That's awesome. A 20% discount for anybody listening to the show types in Up North Journal. So there you go.
And all lowercase, Up North Journal, 20% off. You spend $40, we'll give you free shipping and a free decal.
Gotta like that too, man.
Gotta like it.
It just keeps getting better.
Okay, so we've talked about the deer urines.
Right.
What's your go-to one?
Mine is the synthetic doe and heat. Of course, where I'm from, Virginia, I have to use synthetic dough and heat. But if you're in another state, Estrus Max by far is the way to go.
Okay, now, and as far as using this and applying it in the field, spraying it in the air, do you use a scent wick? How do you apply this, and where do you use it at?
Well, you can use one of our wicks. One of our wicks is, we have wicks available called Scent Anchor wicks. We have a 4-prong wick.
We got them right here. We're showing them right now.
And what's so cool about that is you have 4 different points of contact. So you can use a doe and heat, and you can use a buck with tarsal, or you can use buck urine or regular doe urine if you haven't come into the rut yet. So you can create, what I like to say is you can have a party in the woods on a tree all at the same time. So instead of sitting over, using just one urine, we like to mix it up. I like to mix it up so you can create the effect of more than one deer in an area. So if you're trying to lure out the mature deer, he's going to feel more comfortable, or he may be agitated. You may get different reactions from him based on what you have on your wick.
Gotcha. Now, I noticed on these wicks, the 5th tab has the 2 holes on it, so you can actually anchor this onto a limb. And I imagine the way it's designed, you push them both on, and it holds it on there. Even if the wind's really blowing, it's not going to blow these off. It's
not going to go anywhere. And I like to use them. I like to take the big hole and clip a carabiner to it. So when I get out of the truck, I hold it and I lay it in my pack and I cover it with the synthetic scent, drop it, and walk with it. So where it's so light, it's not going to drag. And then when you get to the tree, you can unclip it, or you can just hang it straight up from the tree with your carabiner clip. That's what I like to do. The hole's big enough for a carabiner clip. We designed it for that.
Nice.
That is awesome. He's taking these into the woods, and he's putting all these scents on it. So what's happening is when you turn it upside down, he's turning the woods into X-rated.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Doe's gone wild. It's okay with me.
Hey, whatever it takes. You're right.
Hey.
You know what?
It don't matter how you get there as long as you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think before we get too deep into this, I think we're going to take a break real quick, and we come back. We want to talk more about what y'all have to offer. I also want to talk to you a little bit about your background and your hunting style and your success stories as well. So,
we're good to me.
All right, we're going to step outside real quick. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Second segment of the show.
We are talking none other than Whorley Bird from Virginia.
How did you get that name?
I've had that name since I was a kid. I don't know. People just, when I played baseball and wrestled and stuff, they call me the Whorley Bird. So it sounds good, so we stick with it.
I bet you did something to get that nickname.
Well, you want to keep it a family show, so we can't talk about it. You know what I mean?
You know what? We got in the pack. Maybe you can talk a little bit about this. We got a 2-pack in my hands of doe and heat and a deer musk scrape enhancer. Can you talk about the combination of this pack?
Well, the doe and heat, it's what it says. If a doe's in heat, the only difference between that and our regulars is not measured. You get estrus in it, but you don't know exactly how much. And then you've got the buck with the tarsal, which when a doe and heat comes through, then most of the time, if it works in a perfect world, you have the buck behind her. Okay, so we have buck urine, but you have buck with tarsal. So when the buck is ready to breed, his tarsals turn black. Every deer hunter in the world knows that. Mm-hmm. So instead of buying them individually, and you may lose one from here to there, if you buy the combo pack, then you've got both of them at your hand that you can use at the same time. So you know which one you're going to use, and you know the other one that you're going to use all at the same time. So instead of losing a bottle, you have them right there together, and you know exactly what pairs with what.
Okay, talking about the scrape enhancer. Actually, I had this question come up yesterday when we were hanging stands and we were talking down there about scrapes and scrape line. Mm-hmm. Would you use this to make a scrape, or would you use this just to enhance a scrape? And when would you actually start setting those up?
Both. You can use them you can create a mock scrape, or if you find a real scrape, you can put the enhancer with it, because, if you create a mock scrape, you're creating what nature hasn't put there. So our urine, that musk scrape enhancer, tells the next buck that comes through, hey, we've had a buck here, so he's going to come back and check it. What's also good about if you find a real scrape that's been already created, you're enhancing it. Now, not only one buck's urinating in it, you have 2 bucks. So you're going to irritate the new bucks coming through, and you're going to aggravate the old buck that made the scrape. Mm-hmm. So I like to use, early here in Virginia, we start first week in October with bow season. I like to start putting scrapes out the 3rd week, which is the 3rd week of October, because prime time rut here on the East Coast is normally the 8th or 9th day in November. A lot of people go by the moon. I go by what I've always seen since I was a child. Right. Those 3 days are always golden for me. Muzzleloader comes in the first week in November. So usually the first half of the first week to the second week, that's prime time. So the pre-rut time is, 3rd week of archery, 3rd week of October going in. So, and if you're unsure of the area, like I've always told people, when you start seeing scrapes come up, that's the time to start making your own scrapes.
Okay. Now, yeah, you're probably a week and a half ahead of us up here, where I'm guessing. We usually our breeding season, the rut hits right around the opener of rifle season, which is November 15th.
Right.
That's about the time that the peak really hits, if conditions are right. We can go into a mile of different things we can talk about on that. But so now setting one of these up, do you just, if you're going to set up a mock scrape, just take a tool, like maybe a little trowel or something like that, and dig in the soil, rough it up? How much of this do you put in, or do you put a drip up? How do you go about making a mock scrape?
What I like to do is either I'm going to use a shed antler, because I like using shed antlers because it comes actually from a deer, because it has the deer smell. Or you can use a rubber boot after you have applied the odor eliminator. I like to use our odor eliminator than take a rubber boot, because rubber boots don't hold smell as much as, let's say, your other kind of boots. But if it's a rubber bottom boot, you just take it in and dig it. But you always got to remember, the main thing for me is I do not like to build a mock scrape unless I have a licking branch. Because 9 times out of 10, a real buck, he's not going to run a scrape there unless he has a licking branch right overhead. So that's that's how I like to do it. Either I take a shed antler and do it, or I take a rubber boot, or, a lot of people like to use limbs. I don't like to use limbs, but some people like to use limbs. Or trowel. Trowel's not a bad idea neither. Okay. It's a pretty good idea.
Now, on a licking branch, do you put any eye gland lure on that licking branch, or no?
I don't. I just let the natural. I let them do it, and of course I spice up our scrape with our product, and then 9 times out of 10, that's all you need to do. Some people like to use the eye guard scents and stuff like that, but I don't. I've had a lot of success not doing it.
Okay. All right.
Yes, sir.
And just an FYI, that you have these value packs that you have. You actually have 2 of them. You've got one. They both come with a doe and heat. One comes with a deer musk scrape enhancer, and the other one comes with buck with tarsal.
That's right.
All right. What do you got in this 2-pack here?
So you kind of went right down the road of scent eliminator, and we have the scent breaker odor eliminator earth scent.
Right.
And you use this.
I do. I love the earth scent because I hunt a lot of oak flats. I hunt a lot in the woods. I do some clear cuts, but most of my hunting goes into the woods. I really love oak flats because, a deer's got to eat and the deer's got to drink. So I use it a lot because I want to smell like earth because I'm hunting on the earth.
I see this. This has got a safety on it, by the way.
It does.
Don't be squirting me over here now. Come on, man.
You smell like earth. I'm breaking up your scent.
Are you saying I stink tonight or what? You can't give Danny anything with a trigger because he's always shooting stuff.
So
hey, me too. I always do my reflexes every morning.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go. You break up your scent with the scent breaker with the earth scent odor eliminator. But also when you're in your stand, you also have a wind reveal indicator and odor eliminator as well.
That's right. Because, if you're hunting like here in Virginia, early season bow, it's 55 million degrees outside. The last 2 years it have. So I'm a big guy, so I sweat, And the good thing about the wind reveal is when I'm hitting the wind, checking the wind, if the wind's in my face, it's going to odor limit. Because if you got the wind in your face, that's perfect. So when the wind blows that odor eliminator back in your face, it's not going to bother your skin. it's biodegradable, and it eliminates your odor. So, I got a big beard. So
really?
It's hard to get all this, odor free. So when the windbreaker hits me in the face, it eliminates all the odor that I have coming from my beard. So it's like a 2-for-1.
It's a twofer.
There you
go. That's awesome.
So that's kind of like a really fine powder.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It's biodegradable. So if you spill it, if you get on there, if you're hunting near water, it's not going to hurt anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it says right there, eco-friendly, wind indicator, odor eliminator, and eco-friendly as you speak.
Right, because we're all deer hunters. We all care about the earth because we reap for what the earth gives us, so we got to take back to the earth. We believe that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What else you digging in the box over there?
I'm digging. Where do you want to go next? We got. You know what? Let's go down because we're going to be coming into bear season.
Mm-hmm. Actually, bear season here in Michigan starts, I believe, the third week of September. So
there you go.
People will start, they'll start putting out their baits here next month.
August 1st. Is August somewhere in there?
Somewhere in the middle of August, yeah.
Yeah, so, you can use a sow bear in heat that they have, and they got a whole bunch of stuff. Now, would you use this just by itself with anything else you would use, or you just go with that basically?
Jelly donuts.
We have to use that. We have to use that in Virginia. I don't know how Michigan is about baiting for bear, but here we can't bait bear at all.
Really?
No bear. No, you cannot bait. The laws and regulations at the you guys call them DNR. We have to call them the DGIF. They do not allow any baiting. Nothing. Bears are on a different level from deer. If you're caught with a bait, it's terrible.
That's interesting. Just how much it varies from one state to the other on something as simple as that. I mean, I know baiting deer is controversial. Bear up here, even from public land to state land, there's a big discrepancy in how you can bait. So
right
here in Michigan, but yeah, we can bait for bear up here. Do y'all get to run bear down there with dogs or no?
They do in some counties. Some counties up northern Virginia they do, but they just started. We're overrun with bear. Okay. I know. What in Michigan is it a draw tag? You have to draw a tag for a bear.
Yep.
So you buy them. You can buy them over the counter here in Virginia because 2 years ago they started a 3-day rifle season 3 days before bow season. I don't know where they come up with this idea, but they've got it to where you can go kill a bear 3 days before you can start bow hunting for deer.
That doesn't make any sense.
So you can run. You can go out there with your rifles and tear up your stands 3 days before bow season. Yeah. But that Saturday, you better sit still with your stick and string. Right. But they say we're overloaded with them. I mean, if you harvest a bear here in Virginia, you got to knock the front canine out. You can't even. This year is the first year you can check them over the phone, but up to this year, you had to go take it to a check station because they want to monitor how old the bears are that's been harvested here in Virginia. I've been fortunate to kill some bear, and I enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
I love it. I love to get up there and hunt bear. I've had
these laws and regulations are so crazy because you can the first week of muzzleloader deer in Virginia, you cannot kill a bear with a muzzleloader. So you have to pick either you're going to kill a bear or you're going to kill a deer. So I don't know how they come up. Maybe that's why those guys get paid the big bucks to figure that out, not me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, me. No, it's now our bear up here. We have to take them in, have them what's called sealed. They put a special tag on it.
Right.
They do the same thing like down there. They have to take them in, a mandatory check on those. Bobcats the same way, and the elk hunt here, it's highly regulated as well. So.
Yeah, we're getting some elk here in Virginia. We've got a few on the western part of the state, but they're slowly moving their way in.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a lot of these states get these back and have a huntable population of them where people can enjoy.
I agree.
And Jennifer is saying that she needs to make a bear hunting trip. Sounds like she wants to come down and visit you.
There you go.
Come on. Season opens October the 5th. Come on.
We've talked about the doe urines, the buck, bear, coyote, elk. But you've got, at Buck's Baits, has got a line of cover scents that is just about covering just about everything.
Right.
From corn to apple to acorn to pine to earth to persimmon. Mm-hmm. Which is your favorite?
Persimmon.
My favorite by far is the acorn. Like I said, I like to hunt a lot of white oak and red oak flats. I like the acorn. The acorn's my favorite.
Now, I'm going to smell this.
Okay.
Smell that.
What am I smelling?
It's first? Acorn. It's acorn.
I'm going to make sure.
It is acorn.
Mm-hmm.
What's it kind of smell like?
It smells good.
Got a hint of butterscotch to it?
That's what it is. Yes. Yeah.
Now you gotta hold your pinky up while you're sniffing it, like the wine people do, to enjoy all of the smells.
Right, exactly. That's one thing we were talking about, and the acorn scent has got that little hint of butterscotch to it, just to give the deer a little bit more kick.
It smells almost like Grandma's candy dish.
There you go.
Right?
Smell the corn. The corn will blow you away.
The corn?
Apple smells like apple juice. That's good.
Yeah, smell the corn.
Hold on, I got it in my hand here.
Yeah, the corn is so good. I've even started taking these little Ned rigs and hitting a spray of that corn on it to get it in the water.
Man,
when you go fishing,
it smells like buttered corn.
It smells good.
It does. It actually does smell. It does smell good.
I can smell it before I put it to my nose.
That's what we're so good at. When you look at the front of the bottle, when you smell the bottle, it's going to smell like exactly what it's supposed to look like on the front of the bottle.
There you go.
You're not kidding. Basically what you see on the label is what you're going to get out of that smell out of that bottle. That is for sure. And I see 2, 4, 6 cover scents, and I tell you what, depending on where you're at and how you want to cover yourself up, I think they got it covered.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah, we got even the old timers. The old timers like the fox and raccoon urine. We got those guys covered too.
Right.
Do you see a lot of guys like trappers using the fox urine?
We do. We have a lot of trappers using the fox urine, and we have a lot of. You're gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. We have a lot of people who have problems with rabbits getting in their flower garden.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot of people buy that from us, so they can spray it and keep the rabbits out. Because if a rabbit comes through and smells fox urine and coyote urine, he's not coming back because he thinks he's going to get eaten.
Yeah, a natural predator for them, and if they smell that, they're gone. Yep, that makes sense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's right. I got it right here. I got coyote urine right here.
So there you go.
There you go. It covers it all. That's for sure.
So you got them eating your flowers. Rabbits eating your flowers. Use that.
Right.
Right.
You don't have to go to the big box store when you can just go to Buck Baits, have them send you a bottle in the mail, and go out there and get them.
There you go.
You can. And if you're in a city, a lot of these cities here anymore, for some reason they hate guns. They hate people to kill anything.
I know it.
So this is a deterrent for you to keep them out.
So
I got 2 more questions for you.
All right.
Because I see that Buck Baits also has a doe bleat, and
that's right.
Also got a rabbit call. Kind of tell us about the doe bleat, and do you use it?
Well, they're all, I use a grunt tube and I use a doe bleat. They're all handmade in Michigan. So that's that's cool. So if you got Michigan people making it, that's going to sound like a Michigan animal. So we have a quality call that competes with the $100, $200 calls, but you're not paying nowhere near that much for a call of that caliber.
What's the matter, Dan? You all wrapped up over here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm wrapped up.
I tell you what gets me, and I guess it really shouldn't because you guys are involved in the hunting industry, but you've got such a wide range of products. It's you appeal to the bear hunter, the deer hunter, the elk hunters, to the bow hunter, the rifle hunters, the trappers, the coyote hunters. You try to encompass them all, and I think that's awesome.
What's really nice is when you see a product, and on the warning it says, due to the effectiveness of our products, Buck Baits accepts no responsibility for accidents and injuries used at your own risk.
That's right.
That's why I told you to close the door a while ago before you opened it, so that way they wouldn't. But back to what you were saying, we've got a wide portfolio. A deer hunter is going to be a bear hunter, maybe a coyote hunter.
He should be a coyote hunter.
Right. I just shot one back here in my backyard the other day trying to kill a little fawn. But we realize that everybody that hunts deer not only just hunts deer, they hunt other things. So we're kind of a one-stop shop to cover everything. So you don't have to go here to buy that, go there to buy that, go there to buy that. You can get it all at one time from us.
Are some of these products available in some retail stores, or is it just online?
It's online right now.
Okay.
We have a few distributors throughout the company. If you're in the Great Lakes area, we have some in the Ace Hardware up there in Great Lakes too, in Michigan.
Okay. And speaking of that, since it's not widely distributed, where can we go to find it?
You can go to buckbaits.com. And even better, you can put in the code from this show and get you 20% off.
There you go. Just type in all lowercase Up North Journal.
That is correct.
We appreciate you guys doing that for our listeners and viewers.
Hey, we appreciate the support.
Well, I tell you what, we're bumping up here on second break. When we come back, I want to get a little more into your hunting background a little bit and pick your brain on some stuff in that arena. So we're going to step outside. We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we will show a few pics of some of the critters that you've actually been able to take.
Okay.
So, all right, we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Still sitting here talking with Mr. Whorley Bird from Virginia.
He says he uses the product. He says he's pro-staffing for the product. Do you got pictures to prove it?
I got some pictures right here.
Do you?
That they have sent us. Yes, they have definitely. We got a buck here that you explained. It's got split G2s here. Talk a little bit about this buck that you were able to take.
Well, this buck, it killed on my place here. The wind was wrong. But I was sitting. What's cool is I built a box blind out of a porta-john. I know it's just crazy, but I have a food plot here behind the house. So he came out into that, and last year had been kind of slow because my daughter, she just turned 2, so helping take care of her and everything like that. I didn't get to hunt as much last year, but this buck came out with a doe and do the food plot. So I went ahead and took him. And he's pretty neat because on both sides he's got split G2s. So for a Virginia deer, anytime you get a nicer buck here in Virginia, if you get the opportunity, you better take it.
Right. Now, is this an older buck? It looks like he's got a real gray forehead.
He was older. His teeth were very short. I mean, he's been around. He's old, what you'd call a Virginia bruiser.
Yeah. Did he was he walking with a cane and have a beard? Was he that old?
Whoa, now, don't talk about guys with beard.
A gray beard. Let me put it, say a gray beard. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, next thing you know, you'll refer to him from West Virginia again.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well, we're not going to go there.
And we got a couple other bigger bucks here. The one here, we talking with you, we can never really pinpoint which buck this one was here, but I'm gonna throw it up there. It's a nice buck. And then we got the big. You said it was a 162-inch buck.
Yeah, that's what the taxidermist scored it at. Yeah. That was a day I'll never forget. That was election day back in 2016. I was hunting on a creek bottom on an oak flat, I love oak flats and a little white oak, and little old doe come through about 8:30. And then another little doe come through, and then coming around the side of the mountain there through the ivy thickets, I heard the long grunt, and I said, well, let's grunt at him. So I made one little grunt, and he come around, and the little doe come down the hill, and he stopped. I mean, it was perfect. The good Lord gives us all these pretty environments to hunt and gives us these animals, and he stopped there. He looked like a majestic stallion standing there. So I went ahead and took the shot with my muzzle loader and put him down, and it's, history's history. And that deer... That's one of those ones. That's what you call one of those life changers right there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful buck. Election day, so you voted to take him.
I did. Wasn't no left or right on that one. Left and right's pretty good on both sides. So I went in and took it. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, that is a beautiful buck.
How old was that buck?
I'd say that buck was every bit of 5.5.
Okay. Now. You said you shot this muzzleloader season, right?
I most certainly did.
Election day, so that would have been second week or second week of November, right? Isn't that it's always second Tuesday, right?
Second Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Second Tuesday.
What I notice is you don't have heavy clothes on.
Yeah.
There's no sno on the ground.
Yeah.
It looks like fairly nice conditions to hunt.
Warm.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Over the last few years, we've been warm all the way up until rifle season, till the second week of rifle season.
Okay, but you're a little further south than us too, though. I mean, you're quite a poke south from where we're at.
We're about 4 hours from the beach.
Now, okay, I'm going to ask a really dumb question here, but I'm going to ask you: do you get snow down there?
Yes, we get snow. We never get snow much till the last week, about 1st of January, and then we get our heaviest snow around February and March.
Okay, so you get measurable snow then. You're not.
We do, yeah.
Okay, you're not close enough to the beach where, people get a dusting, they get a couple inches of snow, but you guys actually get a good handful of snow.
We do, yeah. We get enough snow for people to go buy milk and bread.
There you
Well,
go.
they do that down in Alabama too, but there's only a dusting on the ground.
Yeah, people lose their mind over snow. It's crazy. But yeah, we get snow. Last year, believe it or not, we actually had 26 inches.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what your elevation was, if you were further up in the mountains there or not.
Yeah, we're at the bottom. If you see the Blue Ridge Mountains, I can see off my back deck.
Okay, right on.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In a deer like this and the deer you've taken, we've been showing, I do have a question coming in. Is there any patterns that you suggest on laying out of the cover scents or maybe the doe scents? Is there a specific pattern you'd suggest to put out there or anything like that?
Well, my piece of advice for anybody is, don't try to be something that you're not sitting in. So if you're nowhere near corn, don't put out corn cover scent. If you're nowhere near a persimmon tree, don't put out persimmon. Just keep it simple, because our forefathers back in the early days, before they had camo and before they had modern guns, they were killing big deer. So keep it simple and blend in with your environment. That would be my only piece of advice. If you're sitting near a pine flat, put on pine. You want to blend in, and you want to see the deer, but you don't want the deer to see you.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Simple.
Yep.
Yeah, because my grand.
Why would I use something up in the UP that I can't even grow up there?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And a deer, it's going to spook a deer. So if a deer doesn't, a deer is a creature of habit. If something's new and he don't know it, he's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So if a deer has never seen a persimmon tree, or if a deer has never seen a corn, or a deer has never seen an apple tree, you don't want to introduce something new to them where it's going to spook them and they're going to run off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I've heard some people say they'll throw stuff out there as curiosity.
Right.
But I also know curiosity's killed a cat. So.
Well, that's what's so cool about deer hunting. That's what's so cool about hunting in general. Nobody can do everything exactly the same, so just try what works for you.
Right. I got you. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I know where it makes sense, right?
I like that. I like that pun. Makes sense.
And that's one thing. I know Terry where he hunts. Like the corn would be
ideal.
The ideal because he hunts up there in
corn country.
So absolutely. And even you can also put the scents on opposite entry points on a wick. You could dip it in a wick and put it there. And so, like you said, trial and error works best sometimes. Right. But if you keep it simple.
Mm-hmm. The corn, if you're on a corn flat now, I've been on some bear kill permits here in Virginia. Like I said, they were so bad. And I actually shot a bear 9 steps away from my stand on a road going around a corn flat. Shot a bear 9 steps that came out of the cornfield and came to our wick with our corn scent on it. It's so strong that he left a real cornfield to come to what he thought was an even better corn flat. So that right there speaks for itself enough.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, the proof's in the
corn.
In the corn.
There you go. No, there's nothing corny about that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? All sense aside. But you know what? How old were you when you started hunting?
Oh man, young, 6, 7 years old. I'm lucky enough to still have my grandpa. I still have my grandpa. He's 78 years old, and I still have my dad. My dad and grandpa, they were the ones who introduced me to this when I was a young child. I mean, I've been doing this forever, and I've been lucky enough to have them to show me, and then as hunting has evolved, everything that I've done, I've run past him, and he's the one that's really got me going in this. So hunting is a lifestyle for us here in this part of the world.
And you pass that on, and your wife hunts also?
Yeah, my wife is she is a hunter. She's not only a good looker, she's a good hunter too.
Was she hunting before you met her, or did you introduce her to it?
She was a rabbit hunter.
Okay.
And she went with her dad. Her dad is a big deer hunter. He's another guy that's helped teach me a whole lot, but she had never harvested a deer before we got married, and now since we've been married, she's killed 2. I have a little girl that's 2 years old, and when she's already got her lifetime license. I've already bought her lifetime deer license here in Virginia, and she's got 2 guns in the cabinet. So when she gets old enough, if, Lord willing, I'm still around, I'll pass down the tradition to her, because that's what we need to do as hunters. Is we're losing deer hunters every day, so we need to start passing down the tradition. And here in my household, that's what I'm going to do.
That's the best way to do it. And that's one thing Mike and I have always talked about here. And matter of fact, we kind of talked about before we came on the show, is giving back.
Yep.
And whether you're giving back to your own family or introducing somebody new.
Or the habitat itself.
Is that one thing, do you do? Now, you said you hunt on your own property, right?
I do. I hunt on my property, and then I'm in part of a club where we have some other land that I hunt on. Yep.
Now, do you do anything conservation-wise with your land? I know you said food plots and stuff, but do you do any logging? I don't know how big your property is.
Well, here in my place, of course, we do food plots, and every year I have this little thing going with my daughter. Every year I'm planting apple trees. So I plant 2 apple trees for every year that she's been here, and we're marking them. So as she grows, the apple tree grows, so we can get back to deer. I do a lot of controlled, weed killing, and I cut a lot of dead trees, and we try to plant apple trees. We try to plant oak trees, pin oaks, white oaks, red oaks. We give back to a lot of organizations around here, and then that's what's so cool about Buckbaits is Buckbaits does a lot of conservation too. They up there in Michigan, they sponsor that Pure Hunt Michigan. Mm-hmm. And they give a lot of the proceeds that come back from all the urine and scent sales here goes towards the organization, and that's what they do in northern Michigan is they plant trees and give back to the Habitat for Deer, and then they have a property up in Curtis, Michigan, up there in the UP, where they work with the Deer Association and the conservation and all that, and try to give back to the community. That like I said, when we got together, our values lined up, and that's why we joined together.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I think that's the one thing that I was missing in my hunting portfolio, so to speak. Growing up, that's something I was never really taught. And I've kind of self-taught myself and seeked other education on it. But giving back to the habitat, if you don't give back, if you just keep take, pretty soon there's going to be nothing else to take. And I think it's important that you give back.
You know what? In Whorley Bird, they're saying exactly what he said, the way he thinks and the way Buck Bates thinks. Jennifer Drake commented on the live stream. Hunting is family for her as well. She has an autistic son who got his first deer last year, and her daughter has taken 2 bucks now, a 5-point and an 8-point, and Jennifer learned from her dad and her uncle.
I think it's so important to teach these kids. You said you've got a young daughter.
I do.
Danny and I both had the opportunity to watch our kids grow up and take to hunting, and I've been with all 4 of mine when they shot their first deer, and I know Danny's had that same experience, and hopefully, here in a few years, you're going to have that same experience as well. To me, that's the complete circle. Once you're able to pass that on and you see them take that step. We talked about this. Was it last week's show or week before?
Last week or week before.
You see them take that step. It's like they've made that next step towards adulthood. They've accomplished that goal in nature to be able to do things on their own, and I think that's awesome.
And I tell you what, you're going to be crying your eyes out.
No, I cried like a baby when my wife killed hers. I was more excited than she was, and I know I'll cry like a baby when little Mackenzie kills hers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Danny and I both did. I mean, there's something about when the girls do it.
If you don't, there's something wrong with you, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a huge deal, and you see them take that step. It's just it just does something to you. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I tell you what, we're bumping up here on our last break, so let's get our last break out of the way, and we'll save the rest of the time we got to wrap up the show.
We got to ask him our favorite question.
Oh, yeah, we got to take you down a road here and ask you a couple questions that we'd like to ask everybody. So,
sounds good.
All right, we'll step outside, and we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Last segment of the show. Last segment for Whorley Bird here to talk.
Talking bucks, baits, we're joining up with them, and they're going to be proud supporters of Up North Journal. So we'll be using their sense and making sense of it.
I hope we can make sense of it. I think we can make sense of it.
But, you know, Whorley Bird, we got to ask you just a few simple questions that we ask all the people we interview. And one of the first questions, we know you're a hunter. What's your favorite meal that you would make, whether it be from any type of game animal, your go-to wild game food?
My go-to wild game food, hands down, is going to be deer tenderloin cheesesteak. That is my go-to.
Got my curiosity right away when he said cheesesteak. Okay, explain. How's it made?
Okay, so what I do is take a nice little piece of tenderloin, cut it up really fine, and don't tell nobody, but my wife makes it better than I do. But I take garlic powder, take garlic salt, just a hit of chili powder, little Italian dry seasoning, and a little Worcestershire. Cook that baby up till it's nice and almost done. Then throw a little Worcestershire and a little bit of Dale seasoning in there. Get it nice and warm. Get your tortillas. I like them on tortillas. Some people can use them on hoagie rolls. Get those babies warm. Put you some white cheese on it, mozzarella, Swiss, provolone, whatever you like. Put them together. Put them in the oven. Close it. If you got a tortilla, wrap it up and put a toothpick through it. Put it in the oven. Get it nice and brown, and go to town.
Man,
that sounds good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's not your typical crock pot meal. It's not your the last week it was just quickly tenderloin, salt and pepper, and call it a day. But this is taken when you add cheese to it, you can't go wrong. Not gonna lie.
You can't go wrong.
Have you ever taken this? This is questions clear out of the blue. It just made me think though. Have you ever taken game in the field and then you take it and you clean it and then you cook it at camp or at open fire right then and there? Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah. I have. A lot of people love the backstrap on deer. My favorite is the sweet meat right there in between at the bend of the leg. So there's been many times I've got the charcoal grill hot, and then when you put the deer on the pole, you cut those little pieces out and throw it right on the steak, because I don't do. A lot of people cut them that night to kill them. I hang mine for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'll get the insides out and then cut all the way down to the top of the brisket, wash it out, and hang it for 2 weeks. And there's been many times when I'll just cut that little piece out, because if you dry age it, that little piece gets a film on it, and it gets so tough that we'll cook it right there while we're gutting the deer.
Gotcha. That is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2.
Yes, sir.
You're out in your blind. You could be out in your Porta-John blind, I guess, or anywhere hunting. You look in your backpack. What's your favorite go-to snack?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a big guy, so I like a lot of snacks. I'm probably going to say goldfish. I know I'm pretty too old for goldfish, but I love goldfish.
Got some goldfish crackers. See, I'm not the only one that eats noisy food in the blind.
Yeah, I love goldfish.
There's nothing wrong with that.
What flavor goldfish?
I like the colored ones. The only reason I like the colored ones is because my wife buys them for my little girl, so I can just take them and go.
Just don't leave one left in the container when you leave.
Yeah, it'd be bad. My second favorite, if I had to pick one, it's a tie between Nutter Butters. I love Nutter Butters.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes,
now
sir.
we got your favorite. We got your favorite snack. So you're driving out to your spot, or you might be walking out to your spot, and you got your headphones in. What are you listening to get amped up for your upcoming hunt, or you're on your way to your hunt? What are you listening to on the radio? Are you listening to
K-Love? I'm listening to contemporary Christian music.
All right.
Any
particular artist?
I like Seventh Time Down. I did security for him one time at a concert, so I really like Seventh Time Down, and I like Big Daddy Weave, because I'm a big daddy, but I don't weave, but I like Big Daddy Weave too.
Something tells me you could weave given the right situation.
Right.
Oh, man. I don't know. If I start weaving, people are going to start leaving. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I see. We're gonna end the show just like we started it. Right? Having a little bit of fun. That's good.
Hey, if you ain't having fun, you ain't doing it right.
That's right.
Exactly. And we got one more question for you.
Okay.
So your daughter's not old enough to hunt, so this should be kind of easy, but you might have to think about it. Your favorite hunting related memory. What you're sitting there, you're talking around a campfire, and all of a sudden, boom, the story comes to your mind is your favorite. What is it?
Well, my favorite hunting, that's easy. I don't have to think about this one. I was 9 years old, and my grandpa and I went turkey hunting, back before the NWTF got all the turkey numbers back in Virginia. We were turkey hunting on our family farm down here, and I was just a young boy. When you're young, you can't sit still. So my grandpa, he said, well, go ahead and take you a nap. 4.5 hours later, I woke up, and that man was 65 years old, never moved. Let me lay on his arm for 4.5 hours. We didn't kill a turkey that day, but 4.5 hours later, an old man sit there and let me sleep on him just so I would get outside and enjoy the great outdoors. That's my favorite hunting memory.
That's awesome. That's a dedicated man to teach a grandson how to get out and hunt.
He's one of the finest men you'll ever meet in your life.
And I've done some of my best sleeping in the woods.
yeah. There's you're one with everything so peaceful. I understand.
Yeah.
See, and I'm gonna throw this at you is now that you're married and starting a family, do you have now a up-to-date family hunting memory?
Yeah, mine definitely will be. There's two. I'm gonna say there's two. There's the first time my wife ever took her first deer. That was a great. And then the second, which is right there with it, was the first time I ever brought home a buck for my little girl to see. And she come out there and she was just learning to talk, and when she starts saying "Daddy deer," that'll melt your heart right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something else right there. Start them young, teach them young, and you ain't got to worry about it.
Right.
That is good. We've talked a lot about hunting, but do you do any fishing as well?
Oh, I love to fish.
Okay.
Oh, I love to catfish. And I'm not one of these guys that sits on the bank and cast out and let it sit for 2.5 hours. I like to go to the Dan River down here and get in there and do a little wade fishing for catfish. I mean, you can catch 25 to 30 catfish in 2.5 hours when they start spawning. Oh. That's what I like. And I love to trout fish.
Okay, so you're doing a little wading. Are you sticking your arm in and doing some noodling?
No noodling. I love my fingers too much for that. Those guys have all the respect for me in the world. You go in like that and you come out like that. No, thank you.
Or you see him pull his fish up and half their arm is down
down his throat.
Down his throat, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's almost like doing that for snapping turtles too.
Yeah.
No, you can have that.
Yeah.
So you like trout fishing?
I love to trout fish. Oh, man, I'm from Virginia. We're the trout fishing capital of the world, contrary to what the West Virginia people say. We're the trout fishing capital of the world.
I have to almost beg to differ with you. We got a lot of good trout streams up here as well. Maybe we need to swap a couple trips.
Hey, that would sound good. I'd love to come. We got, here in my county, we have 9 streams they stock for trout.
Okay.
Yeah. I love trout fish.
Tammy says, no nap like a blind nap.
That's right. I told you I'd do some of my best sleeping in the woods,
but
man.
We got to talk to him and see if we can get him up here and we Buck Bates. We should have you come up here and go to the UP for sure, because that would be a blast. And then on the way up there's umpteen trout streams on the way up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You take your pick.
I'll take a Joe's fly, 1/4 ounce brown hackle, and flip them in any of them.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the best thing about West Virginia is the Joe's flies come from West Virginia.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You ever do any ocean fishing?
I've never been ocean fishing.
Okay.
Never have. I lie. I went out one time croaker fishing, and about 45 minutes into it, I started throwing up like a 3-day hangover, and I said, if I ever get back to the dock alive, I'm never going ocean fishing again.
Yeah, if you can't handle the waves, that's no place to be, man.
Yeah. Not for me. They can have it. Yeah.
I tell you what, it's and that's funny that you talk about that. It's like I don't know if you saw the picture this week of that son and his dad catching that grouper.
No, I did not see it.
Holy smokes, it was huge. It was just one of those massive groupers, and it was just like like he said, you hook into one of those. I don't know if I'd be like, wow, but his other son caught a hammerhead shark.
Okay.
So, but if you're not feeling well on a boat, it kind of doesn't make fishing fun.
Yeah, I'm doing good to ride around in my kayak, let alone a big boat.
So, speaking of hunting, we got it coming up. You start October 1st, correct?
October 5th.
October 5th. Do you do crossbow or compound bow, recurve? What do you use?
Well, I use both of them, but I really like crossbow hunting. I like crossbows. I always had crossbows. I had a little surgery on my arm a couple of years ago, and I couldn't pull back a bow, so I started going to the crossbow. And I'll tell you what, when you start going to the crossbows, a lot of people say it's not a lot of sport in it. You shoot a deer with any kind of bow, you're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started practicing? Got scouting cameras out? You got anything going?
I have 14 cameras out right now. So I put them out last week, and I'm just gonna, I got one I keep out year round here on my place, and then I got all those cameras out. In the next couple weeks, we'll when I get back from vacation, we're going to check them out and see what's going on. And then, I don't do all that naming stuff. A lot of people name them. If I find a big deer, if I can get him on his summer routine, then the first couple weeks of bow season, I'll go after him.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, about the fourth week of bow season, everything changes. So we'll have to figure out what's going on.
Speaking of that, before we let you go, talking about using buck bait, using it in the field, and when things do change, if you're having an issue where things just aren't working and you feel like you're getting beat up by the outdoors, you just, it doesn't matter what you do, nothing's working. What's something you just throw caution to the wind and switch it up? What would that tactic be? What would you suggest?
I would start using a food scent, and then you go back. If like last year, I was having a rough part of the year, so I went back and hey, keep it simple. You've seen deer in here. Mm-hmm. Go back to where you've seen the deer in the fall. And eventually one will start coming back to that pattern because it's going to get starting pressured, because a lot of the places I were hunting, there was a lot of people hunting around me. So then I said, well, let's go back to the non-pressure places where I know people haven't been going in, because eventually just wait it out, put the synthetic scent out, and eventually they'll come back through. Like I said, go back to the basics. That's what I throw caution to the wind, go back to your roots, go back to what you know works, and just sit there and don't overthink it and just do it.
Don't overthink it. See, it's good.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And speaking of going back to basics, it seems that Tim Cias, our West Virginia friend, has said shots fired. West Virginia is where the notorious golden trout was first bred.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy,
I've never seen a golden trout live, so whatever they got to do, they got to do.
You two gotta have to get together.
Well, let me say, their blue and gold haven't done much in the last couple of years, so they have to start stocking gold trout.
Oh man!
Wow. So Friday nights at 8:00 when his show is on, you two get on. I'm gonna get some popcorn.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna watch this because this will be good. And
no,
you know what?
I've never met the guy, but I like him already. If he's a deer hunter, I like him.
Oh, he's a big turkey hunter.
Big turkey hunter.
Oh,
huge
I love turkey hunting too.
And you got to get on there and talk with him a little bit. You guys are pretty close, so it's one of those things. And typical as it is, when hunters all get together,
you gotta talk smack.
Yeah,
that's right. But at the end of the day, we're all buddies.
That's
what
right.
I mean?
That's what makes it so good. You can tease
so many
each other
people
a
have
bit.
forgotten that, though. I mean, you just watch all this stuff going on in the news. Everybody has forgotten we're all on the same plan. If I can tell people watching this show that we are all on the same plan.
Yep.
Yeah. Some get it, some don't get it.
It's maddening, it really is. But that's what I like about the outdoors. If you want to go hunting with somebody, you go hunting. If you want some peace and quiet, you go out by yourself and you get peace and quiet.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. Hey, give us one more time. Give us where we can go to find bucks, baits, and all their scents, cover scents, calls, and everything else in their line.
For the whole portfolio, everything you need to go out there, you can visit us at buckbaits.com. You can visit our Facebook page, our Twitter page, Instagram. And if you have any questions at all, you can email us through Facebook or you can email us through our webpage. We'll be glad to help you any way we can. We'll be glad to answer any questions you have. We have a contest going on our page. If you like us on Facebook, we have a giveaway getting ready to come up here with a full line of products that we're giving away. All you have to do is like and share the post, and we run a buck poll on our page, and if you harvest now and we're using our products, you may be featured on one of our web pages. If you give to us, we'll give back to you. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. That's how it goes. But like I said, if you go to buckbaits.com, that's where all the magic happens.
There you go. And we'll throw up on our Facebook as well the 20% off with the code, so people can use that when they do their checkout at
Thank
buckbaits.com. No, thank you for doing
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you.
Tim Cius is now in a tizzy with Oh My God, and he is now beside himself in West Virginia. But I want to thank you for coming on the show, going over the product portfolio line with us.
Is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to give?
I think we got it all.
Okay.
I think. Well, one other thing I would like to say is, if you visit our page, if you're unsure whether or not our product, we have testimonials on there from non-paid people. These are real people who bought real products for us that have had a lot of good results. They're on our page. Check them out. You can read there and know firsthand that our product does work. Results matter. There is a difference.
Gotcha.
Great. That is awesome. And that's one thing besides the testimonials, just being able to reach out to you or anybody and get questions answered also is really helpful. Just having you on here, people asking, what to do with whatever. But no, I want to thank you very much for the past hour of learning about bucks, baits, and portfolios.
Hey, the honor is mine. Thank you for letting you guys let me be on here and take up some of your time. Appreciate that a whole lot.
Pleasure was ours, definitely.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast portion. We'll sign off on that right now, but we'll stay on the live stream here for a few minutes in case anybody has any further questions. So for the podcast, that'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll be back again next week. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
ScentLock Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limwalker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
Easy Cut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
Gut Check Indicators,
and Packermax Cultipackers.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.